You can see the south wind continues as we go through 5 o'clock. There's your changeover line, and it's a very shallow layer of sub-freezing air that comes in first. That's the cold front. That's freezing rain. And as we start to get that cold air at the bottom, getting a little thicker, all the raindrops will freeze into little ice cubes before they can finally fall all as snow. So we'll go over precipitation types later on today. But you can see there's that cold air as it drops in over the lake. This is 7 p.m. Watch what happens by 9. Now we're starting to get into the thick of things. Sandusky is in all snow down to 30 degrees. We have a sleet mix with some snow happening across greater Cleveland, and that line just painfully, slowly marches south, and that's why we've kind of slowed the progression of that changeover a little bit. So once we get into the late night hours, now that column of air above us should be below freezing. All snow, temperatures in the 20s near the lakeshore. So we are talking about a hard hit of heavy snow on top of already saturated and very wet ground. That's going to make slush. At these temperatures, that slush will start to freeze up. Meanwhile, farther south now, Canton down to Dover, getting into the freezing rain and sleet mix in the early morning. And you can see how that sleet mix holds on for Dover and Carrollton. Meanwhile, the temperatures are in the mid-20s. We still have heavy snow falling throughout much of northeast Ohio. This is why I think we will have a ton of eye alerts tomorrow. I think the superintendents are not going to mess with this thing, because not only do we have snow in the morning, but remember what I've been saying? What's the new thing? Beware the second wave. Watch how this day is going to go. We've got snow coming down at 8 a.m., temperatures in the 20s, and you can kind of see these little pulses that we're expecting to come through. So we'll get a burst of heavier snow, and then it'll kind of back off to light snow, and then it may tick up a little bit and then back off for a while to uptick again. And so we're going to go through these little pulses as little bits of energy work their way through. By 10 a.m., two things to note. Here comes another surge of snow, but look at the temperatures. They are going the wrong way. We will have falling temperatures in the afternoon as this Arctic air spills in. This is a big part of our snow accumulation, because as the temperatures fall, we will have fluffier snow. So tonight it's very wet and gross and slushy accumulation that we will have. That will freeze, so it's like a plate for the fluffy snow that comes in tomorrow afternoon, and I think we're going to have some pretty good fluff factor. So it's a layered type of a situation, which is not real good. Beware the second wave, right? Watch this. Woo! Now we get a whole big wave of heavier snow that's moving into the area. Temperatures are now down in the teens. Great fluff factor. Meanwhile, we still have some sleet and snow that is falling down in our southern counties. Depending upon exactly how this plays out, we could see significant accumulations shifting south. If the whole storm system, that whole thing coming out of Texas, goes farther south than forecast right now, we'll see accumulations increase farther south. And there have been shifts toward that direction. Nobody's really locking in on it yet. Look at 5 p.m. Remember I told you, the whole day, here is the surge, the wave, the middle of that second wave, and now temperatures are in the teens. We have windy conditions to talk about, so blowing and drifting snow. It's all fluff. It is going to be really gnarly out in northeast Ohio on the roadways. Temperatures keep falling, just like the snow, as we go through the evening. Once we get past 10, 11 o'clock, we should start to see the snow rates backing off in Cleveland. Meanwhile, it's still snowing to beat the band over in the Berg. And then Thursday night, we'll continue to see light snow just linger. It's not going to leave us alone anytime soon. Afternoon on Friday, that's when it finally gets out of here. We'll have a period of clearing. We actually get to see the sunset on Friday. But oh, that is not good news, because we have Arctic air in place. We have a brand new snowpack, and that will mean frigid temperatures by the time we hit Saturday morning. I think a lot of northeast Ohio could be looking at sub-zero temperatures to begin our Saturday. Ouch. All right, here's when this changeover is expected to take place. After I just showed you all of that, about 4 to 7 p.m. or so, for Lorain and westward. That would include you in Milan, Norwalk, and then over toward the Huron area, Port Clinton, the islands. Believe it or not, there are people on the islands, so holla to the people on the islands. But then farther inland, now we're talking Cleveland, Painesville, Ashtabula, down into the Mansfield area, 7 to 11. Note the angle of these lines. That's the cold front. This is all cold front driven, and this is that shallow layer of cold air coming in right at the surface to get that freezing rain to sleet mix going. 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. This is where things are going to take its sweet time. It's almost like it's pumping the brakes, like tapping the brakes just a little bit, because that thing in Texas is going to start to make a move, and that kind of changes the way everything moves a little bit. And then in our far southern areas, Tuscarawas, Carroll counties, we're going to hold on to that sleet mix for a good chunk of the morning, if it holds on. So we have to talk about how this is all going to go down in terms of the accumulations. Sleet and freezing rain suck up a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Snow, dependent upon the temperatures and the humidity schemes, can do very crazy things. There's a thing called a snow ratio, how much snow you can get out of an inch of rain, okay? So snow ratios of 8 to 1, 8 inches of snow per 1 inch of rain. Snow ratios of 15 to 1, 15 inches of snow out of 1 inch of rain. So we're talking about snow ratios that are going to be changing for this duration. We're going to go from probably 5 or 6 to 1 at the very start when we start to see those snowflakes to upwards of 10 to 12 inches per inch of rain. But we're not getting an inch of rain. So now you got to play this little mathematical game that drives you nuts. Where is all the best juju coming together with the best conditions? Well, we're still thinking west. At this point, we're still thinking Sandusky over toward Toledo has the best chance of getting 12 plus inches of snow. 8 to 11, I know everybody's going, ugh, you didn't say 8 to 11. Well, keep in mind, this is a changing situation, and we will have spots to 13. I really think we are going to have the fluff factor that will drive some of these big totals up. That is all on top of the slush that we are getting though. So that is the other complicating factor. It may not look like a ton of snow on paper. It's nowhere near the amount of snow that we got in the last storm, but it's falling on now solid ice that is on the ground, and that layering is going to mean impacts that last a long time. Inland areas farther south, so Worcester over to Canton, Millersburg, 4 to 8 inches. This is a sleet and snow mix. This is where the second surge, beware the second wave, where it comes into play. Because if that fluff factor comes in and we have a southern shift, you will see these areas increasing their snow totals. We will wait and watch, okay? So it's all on that second wave to see just how much moisture comes in and if we're going to raise the snow totals. I would have to say probably north of US 30 has the best chance to see snow totals going up, but all areas farther south have the chance to see those snow totals coming up. Now, farther south into southern Tuscarawas, southern Carroll counties, we're going to have a good glazing of ice, probably anywhere from a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice. That can cause a lot of problems. Now, add on top of that about 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches of sleet and snow. Ugh, that's not a good thing. As a matter of fact, the Berg is getting ready to deal with that too. So that was an interesting thing.